story begins with what feels like an impossible fantasy. Imagine, what if you suddenly gain the power to control a 1,000-foot-tall monster, and yet you have no idea how? That's exactly the kind of bizarre incident our story opens with today. Let's rewind. Exactly 25 years ago, on a pitch-dark night in a park in Seoul, the capital of South Korea, a little girl was wandering alone, searching for her lost doll. Suddenly, a giant monster appeared before her, leaping from one building to another. The girl screamed in terror, and with that, everything around her was engulfed in complete silence and darkness. Now the frame shifts, and time fast-forwards to the present. We're taken to New York City, where a girl named Gloria is returning home drunk after partying all night. Her boyfriend Tim is fed up with her messy life. Gloria has no job, no ambition. She parties all night and lies on the couch all day. This time, Tim can't stay quiet. He bluntly tells Gloria, "Your life is completely out of control." Then he gestures toward the living room. Gloria sees that all her belongings are already packed. Before heading to work, Tim says, "When I get back, I want you out of this house." Just like that, Gloria finds herself completely alone. No job, no home, no one who loves her. With no other choice, she returns to her childhood town, to the same old empty house where she grew up. There's no furniture, no bed. So, on her first night, she has to sleep on the floor. The next morning, as she's returning home with a mattress she bought, a truck suddenly pulls up. From it steps Oscar, an old friend. He's thrilled to see Gloria. Oscar takes her to his bar. Gloria tries to stay away from alcohol, but with bottles all around her, she can't resist. She starts scratching her head uncomfortably. Oscar asks, "What's wrong?" Gloria says, "I scratch my head when I'm nervous. It's something I've done since I was a kid." As night falls, Oscar introduces her to his two friends, Garth and Joel. They chat over beers, the mood warms up. And at one point, Joel leans in to kiss Gloria. Oscar sees this, gets irritated, and quietly leaves. Gloria, still drunk, drags her mattress back home. On the way, she passes through the old school playground and somehow makes it to her house, where she collapses into sleep. That night, she has a disturbing dream. She's lost alone in a dark forest. Lightning flashes, black clouds swirl all around her. Suddenly, her phone rings. Her sister tells her that a monster has attacked Seoul. Gloria rushes to her laptop to check the news and sees footage of a massive creature that appeared in the middle of the city for a few seconds and then vanished. She calls Tim, who angrily says, "That happened 9 hours ago. Why are you calling me now? I bet you've been drunk all night." To be honest, Tim isn't wrong. That night, Gloria sits on the porch watching the news, and once again, the monster appears on screen. But she hadn't gone to the bar this time. She had gone straight to the school playground, where she fell asleep on a bench. The next morning, her head still spinning, she calls Tim again. He cuts the call short. In frustration, Gloria throws her phone to the ground. Back at home, she sees Oscar has brought her an old TV. Together, they try to set it up. Oscar then tells her the monster has returned to Seoul. But this time, it didn't attack. It just stood there, making strange gestures. Oscar says, "It always appears exactly at 8:05 p.m. Then he shows Gloria footage of the monster from 25 years ago. It was seen only once, and everyone thought it was an illusion. Oscar asks, "Do you remember where you were last night?" Gloria slowly replies, "I don't remember anything." In fact, the night before, she had opened up completely to Oscar about her financial troubles, her breakup, her loneliness. Oscar then offers her a job at his bar. Gloria is so overwhelmed by the offer that she hugs Oscar, and just then, they both see on the TV, the monster is scratching its head in the exact same way Gloria had done just moments earlier. Gloria's old habit of scratching her head returns. Not out of nervousness this time, but because she notices something strangely familiar. That same night, while working at the bar, she sees the monster on TV standing in a posture that looks eerily like someone talking on the phone. And the night before, Gloria had been on the phone in that exact same pose. These odd similarities start to terrify her. She rushes home, opens YouTube, and begins digging through monster footage from Seoul. In one video, she sees the creature dragging something on its shoulder, exactly the way she had dragged her mattress the previous day. At this point, Gloria's suspicion transforms into full-blown fear. She puts on her jacket, stuffs a map into her bag, and heads straight to the old-school playground, the same place where she walks every day. There, she compares the coordinates of Seoul and the playground using her map. and realizes that there might be some invisible connection between this location and the monster. Several nights pass in silence. No new monster sightings, no updates in the media. People begin to forget the terrifying creature. But Gloria doesn't stop. Her doubts only grow stronger. One night, she heads out again, map in hand, and stands in the playground at exactly 8:05 p.m. She doesn't take a single step forward. She just raises both arms and stands still. Then, without a word, she heads back home. The next morning, the TV shows, yes, the monster has returned. It didn't destroy any buildings. It just stood there, with both arms raised, exactly like Gloria. Seeing this, Gloria breaks into a cold sweat. She doesn't understand how, but it's clear that, in some strange way, she herself has become the terrifying monster in Seoul. After such a shocking realization, it's impossible for anyone to stay sane. She quickly calls Tim and tells him she's found a job. But mid-conversation, there's a knock at the door. It's Oscar and Garth. They've brought a sofa for her and helped set it up in her room. After that, they head off to work together. That evening, Oscar and his friends sit at the bar with Gloria, drinking beers. Suddenly, Gloria blurts out, "You know, that monster, it's actually my sister." Everyone freezes. Some laugh, some look stunned. Oscar, Garth, and Joel decide it's time for a little experiment. They head straight to the playground. There, they turn on a live stream from Seoul on their phones. And Gloria? She walks into the playground and starts dancing, laughing, her drunken body swaying. On TV, they see the massive monster reappear in Seoul, dancing exactly like Gloria. The South Korean government can no longer stay silent. A missile is fired from a helicopter at the monster, and something shocking happens. When the missile hits the monster, Gloria feels pain in the exact same spot, as if two bodies share the same soul. The impact throws Gloria off balance. Furious, she throws a punch at the sky, and with that one punch, a helicopter in Seoul crashes. People inside it die. That moment becomes the most terrifying point in Gloria's life. She collapses, broken, falling to the ground. Sometime later, she opens her eyes. She's back home. From the TV, news of the Seoul disaster echoes. Just then, Oscar enters with food. Gloria, tears in her eyes, asks, "How many people did I kill?" She's overwhelmed with guilt and wants to turn herself into the police. But Oscar hands her the morning newspaper. It says, last night, when Gloria collapsed in the playground, Oscar entered the field to help her up. And that's exactly when a giant robot was seen in Seoul. In fact, both when they entered and exited the field, a robot and a monster appeared in Seoul at the exact same moments. Gloria goes silent. They go out for a meal together, trying to figure out how these two beings, the robot and the monster, have somehow become linked to Gloria and Oscar's bodies. That's when Gloria suddenly remembers that day from 25 years ago. She was heading to school, holding a project with a map of Seoul in her hands. Back then, this playground was an overgrown, abandoned lot, and behind her was little Oscar, also holding a project in his hand. It all comes back to Gloria. The next night, they sit on a bench in the playground, counting down the time, 8:05 p.m. Gloria steps into the field again, and the monster returns to Seoul. She writes on the ground in Korean, "I'm sorry, I will never return." The message spreads across South Korea overnight. Every news channel breaks it as the top headline. Gloria watches the news at work and feels a moment of peace in her heart. But by the end of the day, they're all drinking at the bar again. Gloria and Joel spend some quiet moments together. A silent affection begins to grow between them. The next morning, as Gloria wakes up and heads home, the news breaks on TV. The giant robot has attacked Seoul again. Immediately, she rushes to the playground with Joel and finds Oscar standing in the middle of the field, drunk and behaving erratically. One hand holds a beer, the other holds his phone streaming Seoul's live feed. And he's laughing. Gloria storms up to him and shouts, "Do you even know what you're doing?" Oscar laughs and says, "Hey, at least my robot hasn't killed anyone like your monster." When Gloria enters the playground, Oscar is already there. She tells him, "Come on, let's leave this place." But Oscar just stands there silently. Gloria can't take it anymore. She angrily slaps him across the face. The night goes on. As the bar is about to close, the TV flashes a scene. Gloria's monster in Seoul slapping the robot across the face. And now, the entire world is laughing at it, turning it into memes. Oscar watches it all in silence. But deep inside, his ego begins to crack. Now, suspicion starts growing in him. Maybe there's something going on between Gloria and Joel, and then it's revealed. Gloria hasn't touched a single drop of alcohol for the past few days, out of fear that she might drunkenly wander back into the field again. By now, Oscar has become completely stubborn. He slams a beer bottle down on the bar table and says, "If you don't drink this right now, I swear I'll go to that field myself and bring destruction upon Seoul with my robot." Gloria picks up the bottle, doesn't think for a second, and throws it straight onto the floor. Oscar doesn't say a word. He climbs into his truck. Gloria steps in front of him, trying to stop him. But now there's a dark feeling brewing inside Oscar, a twisted sense of joy in this new power he holds. He drives off without hesitation. Gloria doesn't waste a second. She runs after him. The two of them arrive at the field, right at 8:05 p.m., and there begins a massive brawl. Gloria seizes the moment and punches Oscar. Then she says, "I'm not working at your bar anymore." Oscar shoves her and replies, "Oh, you will work. If you don't, I'll come to this field every day and dance, until the whole city of Seoul is destroyed." And with that, Oscar walks away. Gloria returns alone to her empty home. She lies down with her eyes closed, but sleep doesn't come. Her mind keeps going back, 25 years ago, to the day the monster was first seen. She remembers she was heading to school with a project in her hands when the wind blew her paper away. A boy crossed the bushes to retrieve that flying paper. That boy was Oscar. As she's lost in these thoughts, someone knocks on the door. Gloria opens it to find Joel standing there with a truck full of furniture. Joel says, "Oscar sent all this." He says he's really sorry for what happened last night. Gloria is stunned. Why is Oscar doing all this? She rushes straight to Oscar's house, and what she finds is a mess. A wrecked home, bottles of alcohol everywhere, broken furniture, cigarette ashes all around. Oscar appears. His eyes are teary. He says, "I'm sorry, Gloria. I want to be your friend again." Gloria remains silent for a moment, then says, "On one condition, you stop drinking at night." Oscar lowers his head, a subtle nod of agreement. Gloria returns home and finds that Joel has cleaned and arranged the entire house. Just then, a phone call comes in. It's Tim. He asks her to meet him at a hotel. There, Tim says, "I'm here for a work trip," but Gloria sees right through it. All lies. She knows Tim came here hoping to rekindle something with her. Their conversation quickly turns into an argument. At one point, Tim insults her. "So now you're just a waitress." Furious, Gloria storms out of the hotel. Tim runs after her saying, "Come on, let me drop you off at your workplace." They return to the bar. There, Tim is introduced to Oscar. The three of them sit down together, and once again, beer is brought to the table. Suddenly, Oscar turns to Tim and asks, "Can you tell me, what's the most childish thing one can do in a bar?" Tim scratches his head, laughing. "I have no idea." At that moment, Oscar reaches behind and pulls out a giant firecracker and starts preparing to light it, right there inside the bar. When Oscar lights the giant firecracker inside the bar, smoke fills the room, and soon, a fire breaks out. Customers run for their lives. Chaos erupts before anyone can process what's happening. Gloria and Tim stand frozen, completely stunned. They never imagined he could go this far. Oscar says, "I just did what seemed like the most childish thing to me." Still, Gloria chooses to stay with me, Tim. "Not you." Tim is shocked. He grabs Gloria's hand and pleads, "Come on, we can't stay here anymore." But Gloria pulls her hand away. She knows if she angers Oscar now, he might go to the field again and unleash his robot on Seoul. Tim turns to her and says, "I'm leaving this town tomorrow afternoon. Until then, you've got time. Think about it. Will you come with me, or are you staying here?" Night falls. After work, Gloria returns home to find Oscar sitting in her living room drinking beer. She wants to throw him out, but Oscar doesn't budge. He says, "I don't want you to leave this town with Tim." Gloria's mind goes numb. She starts scratching her head again, out of fear, anxiety. That's when a memory comes rushing back from 25 years ago. The past unfolds. Oscar had climbed a tree to retrieve Gloria's windblown project paper. Gloria had chased after him into that lonely, overgrown area. Oscar found the paper, climbed down, but seeing no one around, he tore it up, out of jealousy, out of spite. Gloria saw it and was furious. And maybe, in that moment of rage and betrayal, something strange happened. A flash of lightning struck the sky. A sudden bolt hit her head. Her forehead started bleeding. At the same time, lightning struck Oscar too. They both collapsed unconscious. In their hands were toys. Oscar held a robot, and Gloria, a monster, exactly like the ones that would terrorize Seoul 25 years later. Now, everything makes sense. Oscar had been jealous of Gloria since childhood. His world was confined to one small town, while Gloria had the freedom to explore the world. Gloria no longer stays silent. She tells Oscar everything to his face. Then she calls Tim. Just then, the news flashes on TV. It's almost 8:05. Oscar hurriedly rushes out of the house and heads toward the field. Without wasting a moment, Gloria picks up a chair and throws it at him from behind. Oscar, enraged, grabs a wooden plank and hits Gloria. She knocks over an entire bookshelf onto him. Oscar somehow escapes through a window and runs full speed toward the playground. Gloria chases after him, and at that field begins a terrifying battle, both in the field and within the heart. Oscar keeps attacking. Gloria collapses to the ground, trembling. Oscar laughs maniacally and walks around the field, while in Seoul, the robot is destroying neighborhood after neighborhood. Suddenly, Gloria's eyes catch the map hanging on her wall. It's upside down. A spark goes off in her mind. Without wasting another second, she packs her bag and heads straight to the airport. Meanwhile, Oscar is sitting at the field, staring at his watch, waiting for 8:05. He's drinking one beer after another. And just then, in Seoul, Gloria appears. We now realize she took a flight to Korea. Her real presence triggers the reappearance of the monster in the Seoul field. Oscar walks across the field, and in Seoul, the robot dances with a frenzy of destruction. That's when Gloria steps forward. Oscar suddenly hears a sound from afar. He realizes something is wrong. And yes, truly, Gloria's monster has now appeared right in front of Oscar. Gloria stands face to face with the robot. She lifts Oscar up with both hands. And as the monster, Oscar is lifted into the sky. Oscar screams, "Please, forgive me!" But the monster version of Gloria shows no mercy. She throws Oscar thousands of miles away. In Seoul's sky, the robot rises and vanishes into the distance, and the people of that city erupt in joy. At last, they are free from the terror. After the storm settles, Gloria walks into a small local bar. She sits at the counter, looks at the bartender with a smile, and says, "Do you want to hear a strange story?"